What's going on, LEGO Maniacs? It's Ty, the LEGO guy here, and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars comparison. Today we're actually taking a look at the only two Flash Speeders LEGO's ever made. The first being the 75091. It had 312 pieces, 5 minifigs retailed for $30 US, and it came out in 2015. And we'll be comparing it against the much older Flash Speeder, that set 7124. It had 106 pieces, 1 minifigure, retailed for $10 US, and it came out all the way back in 2000. So there's a 15-year gap between these two. I always find these kind of comparisons interesting just because it shows how much LEGO's changed over the years. But enough talk, let's get right into it. And to start us off, we'll begin by taking a look at the 2000 Flash Speeder. And as you can see, it's obviously an older set. However, it's not nearly as clumpy as you'd think. Like if you compare this against maybe like the Sith Infiltrator, this set is far more sleek looking than that, not nearly as clumpy. I believe that's partly due to the pieces they used. They basically used almost every single curved or slanted piece they could to make this look sleek. The other thing that's nice about it is you have a nice little computer console right there, and it actually seats 2 minifigures. So they could have just made this fit one. There's no reason why. No one would, bat an eye at that. But they made it fit 2, even though the set only includes 1 minifigure. So I appreciated that. You also get these interesting looking printed pieces. I'm not sure what they're supposed to be saying. However, I do believe that this is the only set that they were included in. So interesting little fact right there. The other thing that's interesting about it too is you can actually rotate the turret. There's not a whole lot of play features though with this, to be perfectly honest. But it does have a nice little hidden cubby, and inside you actually have the old school looking little binoculars. That pretty well does the Flash Speeder though. Again, it's not a perfect set by any standard, but it's definitely decent, especially since it is so old. Let's now take a look at the 2015. And here we have the much more updated Flash Speeder. Give you guys a 360 view of her. As you can see, it's much larger than the 2000. I'd say it's almost twice as big, if not twice as big. Very sleek looking. It has some awesome features as well. Now the first thing that I want to talk about is the amount of seating in this speeder. It actually seats 4 minifigures. That is crazy. In fact, even like the Falcon generally doesn't seat 4 unless it's, the UCS version of it. It has some nice looking little console pieces. These are stickers, unfortunately. However, it still adds some nice detail. And one of my favorite things about this, we're just going to talk about it now. How does the doors open? You might have thought, hey, this set doesn't have doors. Well, it does. It opens like a Lamborghini. Now, I don't know if that's movie accurate. I don't think it is, but I think that that's just a really cool inclusion. Yeah, I thought that was awesome. It also has some spring-loaded shooters, bunch of them. So if you're a kid, you can literally go to town. Like there's 3 of them, go nuts. The other thing that's kind of cool about it is it actually has these hidden little compartments. And for some reason, they decided to include these type of binoculars. I'm not sure why they didn't use the older one that has been around since 1999 and is far more accurate. But those are the binoculars they decided to go with. Not complaining all that much. It's just kind of weird in my books. You can also rotate the main turret just like the older one, except this one has a spring-loaded shooter. Overall, I really like this speeder. I think it is a definite improvement over the earlier one, but let's actually compare the two side by side. And as we've been saying, the newer one is just a much larger speeder. It's probably it's twice as big. It's not a third bigger, it's twice as big as this one. And it's just much more updated. Like, it's kind of crazy to see these two speeder bikes side to side, or speeders, I should say. And the differences in detail, overall size. The older one's not bad. I'm not saying that. It's just not nearly as detailed or as good as the newer one. It wins in basically every way, whether it be features, overall design, displayability, I just really like the newer one a lot more, as much as I don't mind the older one. Basically, you could actually perfectly explain this just with the windshield. Like, just check this out. Yes, that is a windshield, and this is a windshield as well. The window on the newer one just looks much more sleeker than the older one. Overall, though, I still do quite like the older one. It has that nostalgic appeal. But again, as we've been saying, the newer ones it just looks a lot better, a lot more accurate. And the amount of seating, again, is incredible that you get in this one. Let's now take a look at the minifigures. And here we have another night and day difference. So these are both Naboo officers. This one's obviously from the new one. This is from the old one. You guys a 360 view of them. There's no back torso printing, leg printing, none of that. But this guy has it all. Custom molded helmet, back face printing. Pretty angry there. He almost looks like he's going to the dark side. And then give you a view again of the front. The only thing this minifigure is missing is basically arm printing. Besides that, leg printing, back torso printing, back face printing, custom molded helmet. Whereas the other one, the only thing that's really unique about him is his torso, which actually looks pretty good. Overall, though, you can definitely see the difference. You got the nostalgic minifigure and the ultra detailed one. Let's now take a look at the final 3 minifigures that are included in the 2015 Flash Speeder. And here we have a battle droid. Just so you guys know, you actually get 2 of them. A Naboo guard and Captain Tarpals. Very nice selection of minifigures, very detailed. You guys a 360 view of them. Maybe not the battle droid, just because they haven't changed his design since 1999. But if it's not broke, don't fix it, I guess is the logic behind it. Nice looking back torso printing for Royal Guard, I want to say, the Naboo Guard. And we'll actually just give you guys a little bit better view of Tarpal's back torso. So they continue basically the theme of his front torso into his back. Not needed, you don't need to put that amount of detail, but they did, which is kind of nice. And he also has a lot of printing on his ears and head. So do quite like Tarpal's. I do believe that this is the only set that actually ever included him. And I think they did a very, very stellar job. Even has leg printing, I mean, all that stuff. The belt even moves into the torso. Looks to be like he has it's a little bit of a clasp or whatnot just right here. A little off though, it could be a little bit more centered. But overall, very good looking minifigures. Absolutely love them. Let's now get into the end of the review and get my final thoughts. Well guys, that was my comparison. Do hope you enjoyed it. Generally, I like to say nostalgia, you know, you have like one set for nostalgia and you like the other set for more movie accuracy. But I just have to say, I believe that the newer one just knocks this one out of the park. In fact, I think LEGO would be very hard pressed to improve on the 2015. Not saying that the 2000 was bad. It's actually pretty good for, you know, considering when it came out. A lot of sets were very poor that were LEGO Star Wars back then. This set actually wasn't too bad. But again, it's just the overall look of the vehicle is just far better with the newer one. The minifigure selection's just way better with the newer one. The only downside is the newer one is worth 30 US, whereas the older one's worth about 10. Probably adjusted for inflation, that's about, I don't know, 15. So to get a flash speeder at that price point is actually kind of nice. However, if you're just looking for a better overall looking model with better minifigures, the newer one just wins. It hands down wins. But let me know what you guys think. Which one's maybe your favorite? Any areas you think they can maybe improve on them? There's a lot of improvements that have to be made, I believe, with the 2000. But with the 2015, it's pretty well near perfect. But yeah, that pretty well does the video. But if you liked it, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future LEGO Star Wars comparisons. We do 1 or 2 of them a month, and I really enjoy doing them, especially when, you know, you're talking 15 years and seeing the changes that LEGO's made. But yeah, that's all I got for you again. But thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.